Hello everybody, welcome to Tpull's Corner. This is Travis. It's a special day. This is early access event, so we are on a VIP client with Wizards of the Coast to set up for us. This is why you see all this extra golden gems that I don't normally have. So when I say we're talking about a whole bunch of content creators from YouTube and Twitch. We're going to be playing all day as much as we can on the various different formats. And we're going to give you a sneak peek at some of these cards and what we can do. Normally I go right into a battle, but since we have new cards, I'm going to pull up a deck and show you the cards first. Because if you haven't had a chance to preview them, they're going to be brand new to you. But I did want to cover some quick information. Wilds of Eldraine arrives on Arena on Tuesday, September 5th. You can preview or pre-order some bundles right now. Wizards of the Coast has been doing this for like 30 years, so their marketing is pretty good with the product. And if you buy a booster box, maybe set boosters, draft boosters, whatever, they'll give you a promo card for Expel the Interlopers, and I've got a copy of it here in this deck. Choose a number between 0 and 10. Destroy all creatures with power greater than or equal to the chosen number. So a nice kind of board wipe for us. There's alternate art that they're going to have for the promo card. And then they have all sorts of other combinations of product, right? You can buy booster boxes or just the packs themselves. You can buy draft boosters. You can buy the collector boxes that have the foil cards in them and the extended art cards or the other types of bundles. And they also have the commander decks. So you get 2 decks and give one to your friend and go to town against them. We have some new mechanics, some returning mechanics. So the ABCs are Adventures, Bargains, and Celebration. And then we also have Rolls and Enchantment Sagas. And we're used to Enchantment Sagas if you've been around for a while. Even if you've only been on Arena for 3 years, we had Throne of Eldraine before, so you might be familiar with Adventures. But we're going to go through all of them. So let me start with this one called Tapping to Victory. It's the first deck we're trying out. And the star is Hilda of the Icy Crown, a legendary human warlock. Whenever you tap an untapped creature an opponent controls, you can pay 1 mana. When you do, you got 3 choices. You can get a 4/4 elemental creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, or scry 2 and draw a card. We're going to pair that with, I don't know how to pronounce that, Shirei of Numbing Depths, legendary Merfolk Wizard. When she enters the battlefield, you tap a target creature an opponent controls, and then you put a stun counter on. And instead of saying tap target creature an opponent controls, I'm just going to say tap. Okay, because that's what we're going to be doing for this entire deck. That's what the synergy is. So whenever you tap, you draw a card. The ability only triggers once each turn. I do have one non-Wilds of Eldraine card in here, Mirror Box, so that if we get multiple copies of this out, we could get multiple card draw or multiple options if we have 2 of each of them with the Mirror Box out. So the whole idea is basically get these creatures out, start tapping your opponent's creatures, and utilize the value of the cards to get some synergy, get some card draw, that kind of thing. We've got Snaremaster Sprite, flying 1/1 fairy wizard. When it enters the battlefield, you pay 2 extra mana, and then you tap and put a stun counter on the opponent's creature. Frostbridge Guard, where we can pay 3 mana to tap a creature. Plungeon Winter, it replaces itself. It's an instant to tap and scry 1. Bitter Chill, an enchantment that taps them and they don't untap. And also when this one goes into the graveyard from the battlefield, you can pay 1, and if you do, you scry 1 and draw a card. So a little bit of scry, a little bit of draw a card in here. 2 copies of Freeze in Place, a sorcery to tap and put 3 stun counters on it. Scry for 2. There are not a lot of artifacts. I think I've got most of them here, 1 copy of each. Because this is the plane of Eldraine, it's the land of fairies and that kind of thing. It's very mystical and magical and nature-like in essence. So there really aren't a ton of artifacts in this set. It's a really small number of artifacts. But 3 Bowls of Porridge is one. You get 3 choices. The last one is sacrifice it to gain 3 lives. So you want to save that for the last thing to do. And the other things, 2 damage to target creature and tap a creature. Enchantment, Solitary Sanctuary. When it enters the battlefield, tap and put a stun counter on a creature. And whenever you do, you put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. 2 Ice Rot Sentries, Elemental Soldiers, 2/3 with Vigilance. Whenever they attack, you can pay an extra 2 mana, tap, and whenever you do tap a creature, Ice Rot Sentry gets +2/+1 until end of the turn. Succumb to the Cold, 1 instant. You can tap 1 or 2 creatures and put stun counters on them. Here's a legendary artifact, Hilda's Crown of Winter. You can tap a target creature. It's free if you activate it during your turn. And then if you have, like, say, 3 creatures that are tapped on the opponent's side, you could sacrifice it for 3 mana, draw 3 cards. So a little bit more draw card there as well. We've got Rhyme for Reindeer. Whenever enchantment enters the battlefield, you tap. Here's an adventure, Threadbind Clique. Let me go ahead and cover this just for if anybody's brand new to adventure cards. You notice in the bottom left it says destroy target tapped creature. We're not used to seeing the word destroy in a blue card, but the cost for that is actually 2 on a white. You see next to the name of the instant, Rip the Seams. So it's almost sort of like a kicker, but you don't pay it. You pay that up front, and then you can pay the other cost, the 4 mana up to the top right later. So here's the way it works. If you don't want to use the adventure part, you don't have to. And maybe they're playing a creatureless deck, they don't have any creature for you to tap, you just ignore it then. Then you're just paying 4 to have a 3/3 flyer, and that's it. You put it straight onto the battlefield, you're done. If you want to use the adventure, the instant, you pay the 3, the 2 and white mana, you destroy your target tap creature, then this card goes into exile. If you have the 4 mana, you can right then and there cast the creature as well, or you can cast it next turn, or you can cast it 4 or 5 turns for now. It stays in exile. The opponent can't really affect it or do anything to it usually. Vantress Transmuter is another adventure card. Croaking Curse is the sorcery. You tap a creature and create a cursed roll token to it. This is where the rolls come into place. Besides adventures, the other new mechanic is, well, adventure is a returning mechanic technically, right? The new mechanic is rolls, and that's, you can see to the right, cursed token enchantment aura. So these are all these rolls are enchantment auras. You enchant the creature, it has a base power and toughness 1/1. So if somebody puts down like a 5/5 bomb, you can turn their creature into a 1/1. I don't like it quite as much because we're used to other spells that allow us to make sure they lose their activation abilities too, or special abilities, and this does not do that. So it's a little more limited. But let me show you. We have 7 rolls, right? There's Cursed, Monster, Royal, Sorcerer, Wicked, Young Hero, and then I think just for Commander alone is Virtuous. The Virtuous one is enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control. But let me show you real quick what they look like physically. So here's the Cursed token enchantment, and if you put it on the physical card, you just tuck this out of the back of your opponent's card when you play it on them, and this part would be underneath the back, so you wouldn't see the other part of the token. And then, but if you did get rid of this, or you wanted to use this instead, here we have Wicked, enchant creature gets 1/1, and when this aura is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. So most of it's giving +1/+1 and some other tiny little aspect. These do not stack, so I can't stick 2 rolls on the same creature. There can be 2 rolls if your opponent sticks one. So like say I want to buff my creature and I put a Wicked roll on it. That gives it +1/+1 in this ability. And then my opponent, in turn, puts a Cursed on it, and it was like a 5/5 and it had the +1/+1. It turned into a 6/6, and now suddenly it becomes a 1/1 again. That kind of thing. So you can't have 2 rolls on it, 2 auras, if your opponent puts the second one on. But if you put a second one on, your first one's going to disappear. It's going to go away. So keep that in mind. The way that the Wizards has designed these rolls is they don't think they want you to use all of them in one deck. They want you to gear towards a particular theme and maybe concentrate on just 1 or 2 of the rolls in a particular deck. And they're probably tied to color. So that's just to give you an idea of how the rolls are probably going to play. But here's Adventure combined with a roll. So a couple of the mechanics combined together. Let's see. We have the final artifact, legendary artifact, Ariad's Tempting Apple. For 4, you bring it down, gain control of a target creature. You can sacrifice this and do 2 different things. You can gain 3 life for yourself or make your target opponent lose 3 life. And then that board wipe with Expel the Interlopers. The only other, I have some non-Wilds of Eldraine lands to help out with the blue-white mix. And we still have 2 Ottawaras and 2 Aganjos. For specialty lands, we got Fair Basilica for drawing and a Surgical Bay for card draw. And 2 Field of Runes because there's a lot of specialty lands. And that is the idea. So let's go right into a battle. And I've done tapping decks before. I usually make at least 1 a year. And I made one not too long ago, so you can find it on the YouTube channel easy enough. Just search for tap. And that one worked pretty well. This is the most upfront and blunt, I would say, I've seen Wizards do in terms of saying, hey, we want you to play a tap opponent creature strategy. Now this is my second early access event. The first one was Lord of the Rings, and I haven't changed the pet yet, so I gotta do that still. And we have to worry about Rat Tribal. Whenever a rat you control becomes blocked, it gets +2 until end of the turn. And we'll go ahead and bring down our 3 bowls of porridge now. And there's a rat. And let's get rid of that rat. And I think I need to at least make sure that I have a white mana source. I hate using my specialty lands up front, but Wizard usually deals those up front to you, so you gotta guess you. They just have another Voracious Vermin already. Not good. Let's go ahead and put this down. We'll go ahead and put Trey out. And we'll go ahead and tap this puppy and put a stun counter on it. They lose the stun counter, so they're going to untap it next turn. And they use Sheoldred's Edict. Let's see. What else should we be doing here? We could destroy a tapped creature now. And it doesn't do me any good to tap a creature right this second. We can go ahead and do this and just turn that into a 1/1. I didn't have much else to do there. Swarm Piper is a legendary Warlock Bard. You get to create rat creatures whenever somebody else dies. And I think we need to bring out some blockers. Hopefully they don't have another removal, or I'm going to be dead real quick here. Twisted Sewer Rich. What the heck? For each rat you control, create a Wicked roll attached to the rat. So, Wicked gives them +1/+1, and they all get haste from that. That's gross. And I'm dead. So, blues, you can see you need a little bit of mana. My opponent went first and got a land drop every turn. So it's kind of hard to beat the Swarm decks that way. So there's going to be a lot of Rat Tribal today. I may not have to create a Rat deck to show off the Rat Tribal to y'all, because there's going to be a lot of it going around today, I think. I think that seems to be the favorite deck already. Which may mean that I'm already playing against the meta. What else is new for me? If you're thinking about getting some stuff in Alchemy, the last early event I did was Lord of the Rings. It was my first one. And in Lord of the Rings, there's a big food token kind of synergy going on. There's some food token stuff here in Wilds of Eldraine as well. So if you don't mind playing Alchemy and playing with the Lord of the Rings cards, you can make a really good food deck. And I mean, if you like food. Who doesn't like food? My avatar is Rowan, from Rowan and Will. If you're not familiar with the story, their parents ruled Eldraine and now their parents died. The set list short name for Wilds of Eldraine is W-O-E, Woe. And Woe is probably the correct thing to talk about Eldraine, because the Phyrexians really thrashed the place. And we have a Rat King, so we are back to rats again. Top 5 and reveal any number of rats. They get the Lord Rat King, the Sewer King. And they're going to crew that puppy already. And we just tap this thing and put a stun counter on it. We'll put stun counters on both of them. There. Take that. Bring down our first charade. And this puppy, they get to exile a card from our graveyard, and they get a 1/1 rat every time. And I don't have Mirror Box, but it gave me 3 of the same legendary already. Thank you, Arena, I guess? What happens if I go ahead and attack? Are they going to fall for it? The 1/1 rats can't block. I could say oops and pretend I'm tricking them, but I just want to kill the Sewer King. I don't really want 1/1 rats every single turn. And I don't think we need to worry about freezing the rat, right? The problem is that as soon as they put down a creature, they're going to be able to attack me with this thing. And right now, until I get a Mirror Box, I've got 2 dead cards in my hand. I almost want one of these to be a removal card, just so that I can draw out a removal card and still be able to play a good card next turn. Lord Skitter's Butcher. They choose to get a rat. They choose to crew. And just come in and attack stuff, and they're going to pump up their creature each time. Which is not going to be fun for me. Let's go ahead and keep the Sewer King. Oh, there's a Hilda. Okay, I think that's a good order. I think that's a good order. I have 2 of those, so let's make 1 into a land, and we'll be done. And I expect them just to keep using this thing. They sacrifice the 1. Excellent, and we bounce it. We can bring it right back down, but it's okay. Oh, they bring down another Rat King instead. Okay. They go look for more cards. Oh, they found 2. They found a Butcher and an Izumi Enforcement. Okay. Let's go ahead and put down Hilda. We don't need to attack this turn. They can get Menace till the end of the turn. What are you going to do? Get into the rat, sacrifice a creature, or Menace? They're just going to make another rat. They are going wide. Destroy target. Oh, hello. Ouch. And they don't need lands, so they got rid of 2 lands, because all they need is 3 or 4 lands to make everything work. Well, let's, I guess, get rid of the 3/3. And let's turn you into a 1/1. They can still crew up this artifact creature too easily. And I've got 2 dead cards in my hand still after all this time. Couldn't really do anything about that. And I'm out of ammo, and they've still got a bunch of cards there. That was a nice little, it's March of the Machines card, but nice use of Convoke with all these extra 1/1 creatures they have. Alright, what do we want to do? I think we start bringing these in. That's about all I can do for that turn. Very much on the defensive here. We are slowing them down a bit. They have to think about things at this point. How are they going to get past my people? Just going to come in with a Soul Ripper like always. I want them to get rid of my extra duplicate legendary here, but they're probably going to kill the Transmuter first. Hopefully they don't have a tactic to keep the Soul Ripper alive. They do. They have Pile-On. A second copy. Still don't need more than 4 lands to do anything in their deck, it seems like. That was kind of a waste. Am I wrong, or did we not get a card draw off of that initial tap? A second. You knew they had more in there. We're in trouble. They've even got a little poison thing going. I need a way to tap that during their turn instead of mine. Keep that one tapped so they can't use it anymore. They can sacrifice it. My problem is if they have yet another Pile-On next, then I'm going to be toast. So I really have to block everything now each time. But I also really ran out of ammo. I guess maybe if I got my board wipe up, the board wipe would come in handy. Yeah, we're pretty much dead no matter what. I think I'm going to let this one go. Because that gives them both Menace, and I can't even kill the 7/6 anymore. So we'll just let them have this one because there isn't... Unless that was the board wipe in the very next. I only have one board wipe in the entire deck. So, and even with that, they still had a way. Never a chance. They had everything locked up. So yeah, blue tap is entirely too slow for these rats. Let's go in one more time just to see if it's going to be all rats all day. Is everybody playing off of only the one sheet of music today? All of the Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers are a bunch of rats today? Is that how we're going to be playing things? We do have both of those right up front. Each creature that's enchanted by an aura you control can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Okay. Let's go ahead and tap it and make it a 1/1. We control that aura, so that won't count. That won't count against us. Kind of scared to put creatures down. Okay, now see, they got the creature, they got an aura roll, so they can have 2 rolls. One of them belongs to me and one of them belongs to her. And now they get the enchantment. So the 1/1 turned into a 4/4 already. Let's see, he's tapping, 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 tapping. Let's do the sorcery. 3 stun counters on it. Do I need the... I do need more land, don't I? Maybe we can live without duplicate Charade? And let's pass the turn. Maybe I can hold on to a Ganjo for a turn. We'll see. Fundswing Troll. Gets a monster roll attached to it. So it goes from a 4/4 into a 7/7 because of the Tell for the Ages. It's, as soon as it gets the roll on it, it's an enchanted creature. Let's see. If we do... I'm not sure it's worth doing this. Make it a 4/4. That stays a 3/3. I'm gonna need to use the board wipe. Oh, hello. I'm already dead before I could even play the board wipe, so it was wrong of me to hold on to a Ganjo. It was just so fast. Exactly what they needed. But it wasn't rats for a change. All right, one more. That was kind of my misplay. I was being greedy, holding on to a Ganjo. I could have used the board wipe and at least gotten rid of 3 creatures in one fell swoop. Where did everybody go? Come back. Easy wins right here. I'm doing nothing but losing. Somebody come play me. We go first. Woo! We can bring out a creature right away, and we will. There aren't a whole lot of big bombs in this deck. A lot of it is based on these enchantment rolls, aura rolls, and you can see that they got the synergies already with the +2/+2 enchantment stacking, so you can still get pretty sizable creatures. And this guy you can keep bringing back if you have the right kind of stuff going on. I think we just pass. And we tap it before the attack. I don't really have a good way to get rid of this. They can, when it dies, they can cast it from the graveyard as an adventure. So here we just tap it. Bitter Chill, that's a good way to get rid of it, right? If I didn't miss a land drop, well, we can use Bitter Chill. Okay, we can still afford that. And we start the attack. Figures finally a deck that's going slow enough for me that it doesn't have rats, and I miss a land drop. And they already have Thrun. Which I don't think I can affect. Let's see, non-green, so I can't do non-green stuff. And I still missed a land drop. Yeah, I think Thrun's gonna kill me. It's just that simple. I'm not gonna get enough land in time to get anything out. They just land starved me. Yeah, this is going to be short and sweet. That's too late. I mean, like, what can I do? I can turn this into a 1/1. I really need an untapped land just to bring that down, just to block Thrun with everybody. And that's if they don't have something to take care of my stuff, and they do. Which there's only a couple of Eldraine cards in here so far. They're using Cut Down Thrun and Armored Scapegourger. So we're just gonna die. And we're gonna see a lot of this today. Wizards kind of encourages everybody to make Eldraine decks.
Home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch me.
But honestly, almost everybody ignores them, it seems. Like, I can destroy a tapped creature. Too little, too late. Even that backfired on us, right? When it dies, put a number of +1 counters equal to its power on each creature you control in the interrupt turn. So the whole tap concept did not seem to do well in any situation. This last one wasn't fair. They only gave us 2 lands. And then they starved us. We might have had something that we could have done there. But so maybe there's something to explore there. The other tapped decks that I've done in the past have been much more successful. This was just maybe a bad mix of things after all. But they can't all be winners. So we'll leave it there for now. We will do more different decks next. Stay tuned throughout the day, and we'll bring more to you. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Catch you later.